Shop the perimeter. This is a basic grocery shopping strategy where you stick to the outer walls of the supermarket. Ever since the first self-service markets opened back in 1916, stores have placed fresh produce, meat, and dairy along their outer edges. They do this simply because these perishable foods require heavy refrigeration and wall plumbing. When you walk this outside loop, your cart naturally fills up with fresh, whole ingredients. You bypass the center aisles, which are engineered to hold brightly colored boxes of highly processed, expensive snacks with long shelf lives. Keeping your cart on the outside edge keeps your grocery bill lower and your meals healthier. Check unit pricing. It is the practice of looking at the cost per ounce or per 100 grams instead of the big number on the tag. When you stand in the aisle, you look for the small print tucked in the corner of the shelf label. Massachusetts passed the first unit pricing laws in 1970 to force stores to show this math. You use that tiny number to compare a giant cereal box with a regular one. Suddenly you see that the bulky value pack actually costs more per ounce. The marketing tricks just fade away. This habit stops you from overpaying for packaging and guarantees you get the actual best deal. Buy seasonal produce. This means purchasing fruits and vegetables that are naturally growing in your area right now. Before refrigerated shipping took off in the mid-20th century, eating what grew nearby was just how people lived. Today, if you buy a tomato in the middle of winter, it gets shipped thousands of miles from a hot climate or grown in an expensive greenhouse. That long travel and extra care cost money, which gets passed to you at the checkout. But when you buy strawberries in summer, the local market is flooded with them. They are cheap, deeply red, and packed with flavor. Sticking to nature's calendar keeps your grocery bill low and guarantees your food actually tastes good. Choose store brands. This means buying the supermarket's own private label instead of famous name brands. Back in the 1970s, grocery stores introduced plain, generic packaging to help shoppers fight high inflation. Today, the strategy is much more refined. You walk down the aisle and grab a box of the store's own cereal or a bottle of their pain reliever. Behind the scenes, these items are often manufactured in the exact same factories and use the exact same ingredients as the expensive versions. The only real difference is the printed label. When you check out, your grocery bill drops noticeably, usually saving you around 20 to 30%. This matters because it lets you keep more cash without sacrificing quality. Hunt for clearance labels. This is the practice of tracking down heavily discounted groceries just before they expire. Supermarkets started using freshness dates in the 1970s, and today, they mark down aging items to avoid throwing them out. Store workers slap bright clearance stickers on meat, dairy, and bakery items, often cutting prices by up to 75%. You just scan the dedicated clearance shelves, grab the marked-down food, and put it straight into your freezer at home. The freezing temperatures stop bacterial growth in its tracks, hitting the pause button on the item's lifespan. It still matters today because you get to build a massive stockpile of food for pennies while keeping perfectly edible groceries out of the landfill. Senior discount days. Senior discount days are events where grocery stores give older adults a percentage off their bill. This strategy gained traction in the late 1970s as supermarkets realized they could attract retired shoppers on fixed incomes during slow midweek mornings. To use it, you just show your ID at the checkout register, usually on a Tuesday or Wednesday, once you reach the age of 55. The cashier then applies a flat 5 or 10% price cut to your groceries. You watch your total drop right there on the payment screen. Consistently planning your main weekly grocery haul on these specific days matters because it keeps hundreds of extra dollars in your pocket every year. Maximize loyalty programs. A store loyalty program is your digital ticket to extra savings. Grocery chains first rolled out these cards in the 1990s to track what shoppers bought. Today, you just download your local supermarket's app and create a free account. Once you log in, you scroll through exclusive digital coupons and clip them directly to your profile. When you reach the checkout lane, you simply scan your app barcode or punch your phone number into the keypad. The cash register instantly lowers your total bill and adds reward points to your balance. Taking a minute to use these apps keeps your weekly grocery costs down and earns you free food over time. Batch cooking strategies. This is the practice of cooking massive amounts of food at once, so you have leftovers for days. You take cheap base ingredients like rice, beans, and root vegetables and cook them into a giant pot of chili or stew. Once it cools, you scoop individual servings into airtight containers and stack them in the freezer. People have been doing this since home freezers became a kitchen staple in the 1950s. The immediate result is a freezer packed with homemade convenience foods. It still matters today because it eliminates the tired urge to order a $20 takeout meal after work, keeping your weekly grocery budget safely intact. Embrace meatless proteins. This means replacing expensive meat with cheap alternatives like lentils, chickpeas, and beans. Humans have relied on these simple legumes for thousands of years. You just take dry or canned beans, add some spices, and simmer them into stews or tacos instead of cooking beef. The immediate effect is a noticeably smaller grocery bill. Ground beef often costs over $5 a pound, but a pound of dried beans costs around $1 and expands to feed a whole family. Scheduling just 2 meatless dinners each week still gives your body the protein it needs, while keeping your weekly food budget firmly under control. Buy frozen produce. In the 1920s, Clarence Birdseye figured out how to flash freeze food after watching Inuit fishermen. Today, farms pick crops at peak ripeness and freeze them solid within hours. This quick chill locks in all the nutrients and flavor. When you buy a bag of frozen peas or berries, you pay a lot less than you would for fresh ones. Plus, you just pour out exactly what you need for a meal and put the rest back in the freezer. The vegetables do not wilt and rot in your crisper drawer. This simple swap cuts down on massive food waste and keeps more money in your pocket. Grow your own herbs. Supermarket herbs are a bad deal. You pay $3 or $4 for a few sprigs of basil sealed in a plastic clamshell. You use a little bit for dinner, and the rest turns into green slime in your fridge days later. Instead, buy a small living plant. Put it in a sunny windowsill and give it water each week. Whenever you cook, you just snip off exactly what you need. The plant keeps growing new leaves to replace what you took. Humans have kept indoor herb gardens since ancient Roman times, and the practice still makes sense today. It saves you money, cuts down on single-use plastic, and guarantees your meals always have fresh flavor. Shop late for discounts. This is a simple timing trick for your grocery trips. Ever since expiration dates became standard on packaging in the 1970s, supermarkets have faced a daily deadline to clear out perishables. If you walk the aisles in the late afternoon or evening, usually between 5 and 8, you will see store employees doing their daily rounds. They carry a pricing gun and look for meat, dairy, and bakery items that expire the next day. They slap bright yellow stickers over the old barcodes, dropping the price by half. Timing your visits to this routine keeps your food bills low while helping stores cut down on food waste. Never shop hungry. Eating before you hit the grocery aisles is an essential rule for protecting your wallet. When you walk through the doors with an empty stomach, your brain shifts into survival mode. You smell the bakery, see the colorful chip bags, and your body demands immediate energy. A 2013 Cornell University study showed that hungry shoppers purchase nearly 19% more high-calorie junk food than those who ate beforehand. Your cart quickly fills up with expensive cookies and sugary snacks you never planned to get. Keeping yourself full before shopping ensures you stick to your list, saving money and keeping unwanted junk away. Stick to a list. This is the habit of writing down exactly what ingredients you need for your weekly meals before you leave the house. Since the first modern supermarkets opened in the 1930s, stores have been carefully mapped out to encourage impulse buying. Bright displays and clever aisle layouts trick you into grabbing extra items. To fight this, you sit down, plan your meals, and write out your exact needs. You walk into the store, look only at your paper, and grab those specific items. This keeps you from wandering aimlessly down the snack aisle and tossing unnecessary things into your cart. Retail studies show over 60% of grocery purchases are unplanned. Staying true to your list stops you from wasting cash. Buy staples in bulk. This means getting your non-perishable everyday items in much larger quantities. Instead of grabbing a tiny box of pasta or a single roll of toilet paper every week, you buy a massive bag or a giant multi-pack all at once. People really started doing this in the late 1970s when the first warehouse clubs opened. You pay more money up front at the cash register, but you carry out way more product. When you get home, your pantry shelves stay completely stocked for months. You stop making extra trips to the store because you ran out of rice or oats. This still matters today because those long-term savings easily cut your staple grocery bills by 20%. Use a shopping basket. Back in 1937, grocery owner Sylvan Goldman noticed customers stopped shopping when their hand baskets got heavy. He invented the shopping cart just to make them buy more. You can use that history in reverse. When you walk into the store for a few things, grab a handheld basket instead of a deep trolley. As you walk the aisles, you face a strict physical limit on space. You also have to carry the actual weight of the groceries. This naturally stops you from tossing in heavy sodas or bulky snacks. Your arm gets tired, and the basket fills up fast. It keeps your trip quick and protects your wallet from expensive impulse buys. Regrow vegetable scraps. Regrowing food from kitchen trash is an old trick. People popularized this practice during the Victory Garden movement of World War II to stretch daily rations. Instead of tossing the root ends of celery, romaine lettuce, or spring onions, you just save them. Leave about 2 inches of the base intact and place it root side down in a shallow dish of water. Set the dish on a sunny counter and swap out the water every few days. Within a week, you will see fresh green shoots sprouting straight up from the center of the severed base. It reduces your household waste and gives you free greens for your next meal. Avoid pre-cut foods. Those plastic tubs of diced melons, sliced mushrooms, and shredded cheddar are tempting time savers. Grocery stores started pushing these convenient packages heavily in the late 1980s to attract busy working families. A store worker takes a perfectly good whole onion, chops it, tosses it into a plastic container, and slaps a new barcode on it. The immediate result is a massive price spike. You end up paying a markup of sometimes 300% just for a few minutes of knife work. The food also spoils faster because the exposed flesh quickly reacts to the air. Buying whole produce and blocks of cheese keeps your grocery bill down and ensures your food stays fresh longer. Ask for rain checks. A rain check is a voucher a store gives you when an advertised sale item is sold out. The concept started in baseball in the 1890s. Teams handed out paper tickets to fans so they could return if a game washed out. Today, retail stores use the exact same idea. You walk up to the customer service desk, say the discounted item is gone, and ask for a slip. The clerk writes down the product and the sale price. When the shelves are finally restocked, you hand the cashier that piece of paper. The register rings up the discount, even if the sale ended weeks ago. It still matters because it forces stores to honor their deals. Audit your receipts. This is the habit of reading your printed slip right after you pay. Ever since the first barcode scanner read a pack of gum in 1974, checkout glitches have been a normal part of shopping. You buy your groceries, the cashier scans them, and the computer applies the prices. But the system is not perfect. Sometimes a sale price does not register, or an item gets scanned twice. Government studies show around 2% of items ring up incorrectly. If you leave without looking, you pay more than you should. By checking your receipt near the exit, you spot overcharges right away. Catching the mistake immediately means you can get your cash back.